And today we're going to check out this new drive pedal from Chase Bliss. It's the Brothers AM, which I think stands for Analogman.
I think you might be right.
Because it was a collaboration.
Analogman in big letters on the front there.
Yes, between Chase Bliss and Analogman. And today we're going to check it out. Timestamps for everything below. It's going to be a little bit involved, like a lot of Chase Bliss stuff usually is. But yes, and my name is Gabor.
Bit going on. Hey, I'm Alex. Welcome along. We're going to check out this box today, but please hit like and subscribe first up on the channel. Do us a favour, hit the like bell, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, say hi, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And this is provided by the lovely people at Chase Bliss, by Joel and all the other lovely people. Courtney, I think, was the lady that organised the shipping and all that sort of stuff.
Very much.
Thank you, all you Chase Blisteners. Yes, the Brothers, new pedal. Well, there used to be a Brothers by Chase Bliss, which was their drive pedal. But this apparently took 5 years. It was 5 years in the making. Collaboration between Mike Piera from Analogman and Joel Corti from Chase Bliss. So this is, in a nutshell, this is a kind of like a King of Tone, but slightly Chase Blissified.
Modern version.
Yes, yeah, with a few extra little things and like usual with Chase Bliss stuff, things you can do that you can't really do with anything else.
There you go. So you know what you're hearing, though. The setup today is through the pedals from Monstertronics and Switcher, Cherry Tone OTS Mini 20, and a 2 notes or pitot cap decks on the back end. There you go. There's
some reverb, I think, on there as well.
Possible.
Yes. Okay, so at its core, it's King of Tone, basically. So you've got channel 1, you've got channel 2, you can stack them. You also have this little preset switch where you have two presets, well, one preset on this side, so the two channels, or the very noisy one on the other side. You also have a bunch of Dipswitches in the back. Half of the Dipswitches change sounds and are like maybe internal switches on other pedals. The other half is the thing where you can then attach an expression pedal or CV, and it's like it does knobbies turning for you. I don't think there's an LFO internal, so it doesn't do like a lot of Chase Bliss pedals that has an internal LFO that does stuff. You need to have an expression pedal and all that stuff. Timestamps for everything below. So let's just start off by looking just at what's on top, right?
Distortion pedal.
Basically, we have channel 1 and channel 2. It's sort of color-coded too. So you've got the orangey channel, which is this one, which is gain, tone, and volume, which is this. So that's gain, tone, and volume for that. You have this side, which is channel 2, and you have gain, tone, and volume. Channel 1 runs into channel 2. So basically, the way you got to think of it is if you have each of them on separately, it all works fine. If you have both of them on, volume 2 basically becomes the output volume because volume 1 pushes into the other channel. So it's that becomes your main master volume basically when you have both channels on. For each channel, you have kind of like you have internally on the King of Tone, you have the little switchy where you can go from an overdrive in the middle to distortion to boost. So boost is a lot cleaner. It just sort of breaks up. It breaks up a little bit, but it's mostly clean boost, but there's a little bit of breakup in it. It's also the loudest. Overdrive is a little bit more, and distortion is a little bit more, and it gradually gets quieter as well as you have to turn the volume up as you go between the two. You have the two different channel A and channel B both have that. In the middle, you have something that you don't usually have on a King of Tone, which is a treble boost. Now it's a Rangemaster style treble boost. On the left, it's super trebly. On the right, it's sort of more high mids, but they're both very top end. That is assigned to channel 1. So whatever you do with this, channel 1 does it, channel 2 doesn't, unless you stack them. Then it goes via channel 1 into channel 2.
Yeah, you have like a treble booster into a distortion pedal.
Like a treble booster, yeah, basically, in front of it. So that's sort of set in front of it. You also have some dip switches in the back where you can change it to high gain mode and all that sort of stuff, which we'll get to all the dip switches. But let's just look at it. Let's just start off, actually, with you playing. Let's just check out the presets. Okay. Because you can save 4 presets. You have preset 1 and 2. And then you also have a little switch in the back where you can switch to a second bank where you have another 2 presets. And via MIDI, I think you can recall way more presets, but that's just what you have on here. Okay, so let's just check out the clean sound and then let's check out the presets. Les Paul into that. This is to the right preset. So believe that's a preset made by Mike Pierre, and it's the way he would set it up. Okay. Here's King of Tone. So he has a gain stage on the right.
Yep.
And then if you want more, you kick in the one on the left. The one on the other side is very noisy. I think this has a treble boost engaged, and it sounds like this. So this is a preset called Sunny Skies. Mixture of everything Brothers AM has to offer. Treble boost into distortion into overdrive for a sound that's bright, focused, and charged.
Sure, it's charged.
Okay, and then you have a switch in the back to go to the other two presets, but let's not worry about them right now. Let's just check out each channel, right, and see what they sound like and see what it does. So let's turn on this channel. So I don't know if you've noticed this, but when we go to the preset, that light is red.
Yo.
Currently it's green.
Yes.
You have a high gain switch in the back, which we'll get to as well. So currently it's not set to high gain. When you set to high gain, it goes red. So let's just check out. This is now 12 o'clock, everything at 12 o'clock. So these three controls, we're on overdrive, channel 1. That's on the overdrive setting. Now, if you do the same settings when we go to boost. So it's slight variation and sound, and then you go to distortion, and the volume drops a bit more.
Feels great, like.
Yeah, I mean, King of Tone.
So.
King of Tone is always it is. I've been using a King of Tone for 15 years or something like that, or more, and I've got two of them now. Killer pedal. Now let's check out how similar channel 1 and channel 2 are. So let's go back to overdrive. Let's find a sound that you like. Mm-hmm. So that was, I think, roughly there. If you want to play, this is channel 1 again. more gain, less gain?
Yeah, it's like this. Slightly blown. Yeah, cool.
Like that? Now let's check out, if we go the other side, if we set it up exactly the same, will it sound the same or will it not sound the same?
No idea.
So this is this side. Pretty close. Let's gain them both up with full gain, see what that sounds like. Cool. So, I mean, I think, as far as I know, they're meant to be identical channels.
Yeah.
So let's go back to that kind of sound that you like. Now let's see if we can introduce that treble boost into it on channel 1 and see what it does, right? So this is the sound again, channel 1. Now let's see what happens if we run the treble boost into a drive. So this is again the same drive settings. Definitely can't.
Rock and roll,
Rock and roll. So I mean, you can set it to boost, you can set it to overdrive, you can set it to distortion, you can have the treble boost or not, and then you can save whatever you want. Where it gets more interesting is when we start getting into the dip switches at the back. So let's start checking out the dip switches in the back. So this is a little bit of studio magic here. I'm going to hold it upright like this. First off, we're going to look at the ones on this side. Sorry, we're going to look on this side, the pinky sort of ones, because they actually change the way things sound, right? These were on for whatever reason, but we haven't got anything plugged in anyway. Basically what you have, so you have bank. So on this one, you can select with the preset, you have the two types of banks, right? So you have that preset, you have that preset. In the middle is whatever it's set to. If you flick to that, the first one down, bank, you now have a second set of presets. So let's quickly check out the second set of presets while we're there. If you want to save a preset, you hold down whichever way you want it to be. You hold one button down until it for 3 seconds, and then you hold the other button down. I won't do it now, but you do one button, then both buttons, and then it saves a preset. Okay, so that's the two preset settings, right, that we have on here. You also have what's called a master mode. Now, master means, all it means is that the second volume, volume 2, always becomes your master volume. So actually, let's switch it off first. So currently, with it switched off, right? If you have that on, this is your volume.
Yep.
And if it's both on, this becomes this boosts into the volume, into the second channel, and that becomes your master volume, right? So that's your volume now.
Yep.
If you play.
Okay, like
Whereas that just gives you more gain or not. Yeah. Now, if you flick this to master, the second one, flick down to on, this now becomes, even with just one channel on, this becomes your master volume. Whether you want that or not, I don't know what that's really for, but you can set it so that volume becomes your master volume regardless if you have one channel on or both. Then you have the next two. Let's go to the other side now. You've got high gain 1 and high gain 2. So if you flick that down, so channel 1 now, if we flick channel 1 down to high gain, it's hard to do in this. If you flick channel 1 to high gain now, the light's red. It became the high gain mod.
Yes.
So this is still normal, channel 2, but this became the high gain mode. So this is the difference between, again, if we set them the same, right, so they're roughly the same. This is without high gain. Right? So you can, each channel you can set to high gain or not high gain, right? Then you have the next one, which is MOTOBYP.
Oh, motor bypass?
Well, momentary to bypass.
Momentary.
So if you switch this to on,
Yeah.
now channel 1 is momentary.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of it being, and that's again for both. So channel 2 is still latching.
Sure.
Channel 1 is momentary. Depending on when you turn it on, you can have it so it turns it on or it turns it off. So if you set it to on and then put it to latching, or momentary, sorry, now it does it off momentary.
Sure.
So if you want stabs of gain and whatnot, you do that. Now the last thing is PresLink. Now PresLink, we haven't actually looked at that yet. You have a secondary function. The tone controls have a secondary function. It's also a presence control. By default, it's all the way off, right? Mm-hmm. But you hold this button in and, well, if you want channel 1, you hold that in and do tone 1. If you want channel 2, you hold the Footswitch channel 2 down and use tone 2. And you can add presence to it, so more brightness. So for example, this is what it sounds like now with the presence all the way off, because by default, it's set to all the way off. There's an extra, it's an extra treble control. You've got extra presence that you can have for each channel. Now, this PresLink, so for example, if I want channel 1, if I turn it on, it just means that tone and presence work together. So now, as I turn that without having to push that, this will change tone and presence. So you want a bit of extra brightness.
Yeah,
that's basically what that does. So that's those switches, right? So we've got the different banks. You've got the master volume thing. You've got the high gain thing. You've got the momentary thing, and you've got the linking tone and presence. Now the other ones, the white ones, are ones that you can control with a external expression pedal. So I got this here, which is the Black Mountain volume. There's a video for it up here, which we can use as an expression pedal. So let's now, you have two inputs. You have one on one side set MIDI and external, and the other one says expression and CV. So external, you can actually set, you can put MIDI in and you have an external foot switch as well, where you can turn channel 2 on and off. But with this, let's plug this into the expression, right, into here. So this now becomes our expression pedal. Now what we can do is with these Dipswitches, we can say, do we want it to use expression pedal for volume on channel 1 or channel 2, for gain on channel 1 or channel 2, tone for channel 1 or channel 2. You can set the sweep, which is top to bottom. So it means wherever the knob is set, do you want it to go from there to the top or from there to the bottom? And then you can set it, you can inverse it, so it goes from the bottom to there, if that makes sense. So let's now, for example, turn on volume 1, right? So now volume 1 will be controlled with this. So if we turn that on, volume 1, volume 1, this one, will now be controlled with this. So currently it's set that 0 is full.
Sure.
Full is off. So what you can now do is you can set the polarity. You can switch the polarity thing. And now it will do it the other way around. So now we have... And wherever you set that, that's 10. Wherever you set that, and as so if you don't want it, if you just want it to go to there, this now becomes 10, right? Now the other thing you can do is the one next to it, which is the sweep. So currently it goes from 0 to where it's set, but if you switch it the other way around, it goes from full to where it's set. So you have. All it means is instead of going from 0 to where it's set, it goes from 10 to where it's set. Yeah, so you can set the polarity whichever way you want it to go. I don't think it's really necessary to do that. And then you can, for example, you can have the gain, right? We want the gain and the volume to be controlled. So now it's controlling the gain. And again, the gain goes to wherever the gain is currently set. So if you want the volume all the way up and the gain there. So now there should be no volume, no gain.
What do you think, Daisy?
Well, you don't want the gain, you want the tone. So let's do tone 1, for example.
Weird. Interesting.
And let's not do the volume, let's just have tone. So this is now just controlling the tone. But I mean, that's basically that, right? So you can control any of these knobs with a normal expression pedal, or you have these slider expressions, or this, whatever you want to do with it, right? The other thing you can do while we're doing expression stuff, right, is you can use CV. So I have here pre-prepared this pedal, which is a Zorg Love filter. Now the reason why I use this is because it has CV out, right? There will be a video of it eventually.
Be careful with that.
Got to be careful with a filter for love.
You don't want to love filter your brothers.
You need a TRS cable for that. Exactly. Let's okay.
TRS, that sounds good.
So you want a TRS cable to go into here. So this is basically a TRS guitar jack size going into a headphone, like a 3.5mm, right? So you plug it into here. Now that's not plugged into the pedal at all, but the LFO in here. So we're going from the LFO out into this. And now the LFO in here will control. Kind of do the same thing as what we did with the volume control before. So we have to turn the pedal on for it to work, I think. Well, actually, no, you don't even have to turn it on. So it's unplugged in. It's already working. So the rate of this...
You've got wave shapes on that too.
Yeah, you can change the wave shape. So at the moment, now this is controlling the volume. So like I said, this is even plugged in. This is just plugged in via CV. So this does is there's an LFO on it, and it's like it's turning the knobs for you. It controls the volume at the moment. So you can change the wave shape. So if you want, for example, more square wave, you can do that. Works more with strummy chords because it's like a ramping thing.
Totally.
So I mean, but basically you can do that, and you can set that to anything. You could technically, I mean, with this, you could have an envelope that then also controls it, so you can control whatever you want. But I mean, that's with CV. You can just control different functions, right, via CV. Now, the last thing you can do with external things, while I'm breaking stuff, let's not break stuff, is you can plug in an external foot switch, such as this, into here. Now, it only really works with a single foot switch. But I don't have a single foot switch, so we're using a double foot switch. But now that turns channel 2 on and off. So I guess you could have that in maybe a loop switcher. So you have channel 1 on, and you're on and off on the loop switcher turns that on and off. And then if you want to engage channel 2, you can do that with a control message from that. So that's basically what that does. So in a nutshell, that's everything. The other thing, there is one more thing, that are internal Trimpots. And with those internal Trimpots, you can control the bias, you can control the volume of the boost. And it also does this thing where it puts a buffer into the circuits. If you want to use, because apparently the Rangemaster style treble boost doesn't like buffers in front of it. No. But you have a thing in it where you can turn a buffer on, so it has an internal buffer, so you can use buffered pedals going into it.
Sure.
But that's the 3 internal Trimpots. If you want to see a video with that, let us know in the comments below. But it's just stuff to experiment around with. But I mean, in a nutshell, that's what it is. You have the 2 channels. You have a whole bunch of presets. If you use MIDI, I think you can save up to 128 or 127 presets. But you have the 2 presets here. Or you can just do live mode in the middle, the way you do it. And you have all those controls that we went through. So I think that's basically it.
That's the rundown. Mm-hmm. Should we actually play some guitar through it?
Let's play some guitar through it. All right, so I'm going to do some playing now with this Fender Aerodyne Special Telecaster. There's a video for it up here. And Alex is going to noodle around with it. I've set this to high gain because that's the way I set my King of Tone. And I would have that on distortion on the high gain and that on the overdrive.
So you have high gain into overdrive.
Yeah, I usually like having high gains going into lower gains.
Okay.
That's sort of my thing. So let's just start off with that. That sounds good. I like King of Tone that's my jam. We're not with a Tele. Quite nice on the neck pickup on the Tele, the not so much the treble but the more high mids boost.
Yeah, it's a nice boost sound, that one.
It has a good sound on the neck pick. On the bridge, it's on the Tele, it's a bit.
this is a Larrivee, some P90s. Zesty.
Both on the high gain, both distortions all the way up.
Many tones. Too many tones.
Let me have a go. Let me have a go.
I'm just here.
With some low tuning. So this is my JMascis Jazzmaster. There's a playlist for it up here. In C standard tuning with a tough set bridge, which is awesome. And the Mad Loves pickups, Travis Bean style Jazzmaster pickup.
JVB.
And it's in C standard tuning. Let's get rid of that for now. Change something.
Are they both on high gain?
Both on high gain.
Yeah.
That's the way it's meant to be. it's a rhythm circuit. That's
yeah,
where that comes in handy, that sort of stuff. It livens up the rhythm circuit. Comparison, that's the rhythm circuit without the
Is it the same as no rhythm circuit, no treble boost?
noisier no treble boost.
It's the same but worse.
Yeah, I would usually have it. I mean, I'd probably have I have the second one on the low gain setting. Like for my settings, the way I would use a King of Tone, I would have that on a lower gain. I'd have that on a higher gain. And then stacked, you have kind of like a lead sound. So you have the 3 different channels. That's kind of roughly the way I'd probably use it if I'd use it. My King of Tone.
Sure.
But yeah, there'll be another video, or it may already be out, but you never know, of us comparing that to one of my King of Tones, just to see how similar it sounds. If it's there, it's linked to in the description below. If not, it won't be yet. So yeah, big thank you. I think that's it, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, big thank you to everyone, to Chase Bliss and Analogman for sending this out to us. Yeah, I mean, we could run it into dirty amps and stuff like that as well, but if you want to see that, let us know.
That's the end of the sentence. Hey, links below to socials and a podcast. Check those out if you've got a second. Say hi in the comments.
Yes, please do.
What do you think? Brand new brothers I am.
We've done a bunch of Chase Bliss videos in the past. I'm going to put a link to all the, like a playlist with all the Chase Bliss stuff here, and you should check it out.
Good stuff. See you all soon.
Bye-bye.
See ya.